Good morning. It's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here to create a 6-6 healing event for those of you who are interested. So before I start, I want to send out a big extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light members, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. So the plan for the next 20 minutes or so is as follows. So this healing event is going to be broken into sort of 3 sections. The first section, or the first time, I'm going to do some smudging with the sage to help prepare us to go deeper on this healing journey. Then the second phase is our time of receiving. So this will be time when I play the Raven Drum. I'll be playing the Raven Drum to support our time, your time of receiving. This will be time where you can hopefully put all the things you're worried about aside and allow yourself to receive what you need and really soak it up and soak it in. And then we move into a time of giving. And so when we go into the time of giving, I'll be playing the singing bowl, and this will be, as it suggests, this will be our time to send energy and healing and love and positive thoughts out to others that perhaps we know who are struggling. So it will be a bit like a healing list, but it will be private, and also sending energy out around our planet. So basically the 3 phases are smudging or clearing, receiving for you, letting yourself receive, and then giving, which is bringing that energy that we feel, sharing it out with others so we can balance that giving and receiving. So that's that. So I trust you enjoy the time we spend together today if you're interested in staying. So I'll be working with my healing energy cards as I go. And let's see what happens. So, good morning, Anita. Let's start with the first healing energy card that the majority of us need. Now, actually, before I start doing any of that, I need to explain why I'm here on the 6th of the 6th. Why does that matter? To me, and for years I've been doing, I try to do, it doesn't always work out, but I do attempt to be here on the power day of each month. And the power day is just something I've coined, which is the same date as the month. So, for example, the 1st of the 1st, or the 5th of the 5th, or in this case, the 6th of the 6th. What those numbers mean are personal and private, really, for us. I'm not a numerologist, so I can't say number 6 is this. And in fact, I don't even really care to look it up or find out anything. It doesn't matter to me, that kind of attachment to number 6. I think it's personal. Basically, it just feels good to be here on the power day of the month to create a public support and healing video. And it feels good that these numbers are aligned, 6-6. So if you have a special affiliation with number 6, or you have your own meaning attached to number 6, then great. If you don't, then great. It doesn't matter. Let's just join together because it feels good to be here today. So with that aside, let's now look for the best cards that the majority of us need as we move into our time of clearing and purging. Welcome, Karina from Ohio. And Anita says, I call them portals, but I love how you call it the power day. Yeah, the portals are great. I especially think of it as a portal when it's like 1-1 or 11-11, sometimes 10-10. It feels like 2 pillars guarding a doorway or an opening that takes us through. But a portal day feels good. Power day feels good. Things are in alignment today. The universe perhaps can show us that we are where we need to be, or maybe there are some changes we need to make. So this is the card before we start clearing and smudging. And it's card 41, called Breaking Free. It's in the Rise category. And down here it says, Stretch past your limitations and into new territory. The unknown, break through, move outside the box, push yourself out of your comfort zone. So this is suggesting that some of us may find ourselves feeling a bit restricted or constricted at the moment, a bit constrained, because perhaps we've reached a point in our life where we're wanting to grow and push ourselves more, but there's a restriction or a limitation like a box over us that we can't sort of grow out of. So this is about breaking free. It's the breakthrough, breaking through the limitations and the restrictions and the constrictions that are keeping us small and stopping us from growing or moving to that next phase. So that's breaking free. Healing energy cards, deck 1. Let's do a bit of smudging. So I've got my smudge stick here. Good morning, Lynn, Misty, welcome. I'm going to light this smudge stick. I definitely don't want to burn this precious scarf. So, our time of smudging is a time to prepare ourselves to go deeper in this healing journey. Now, if you don't have time right now, maybe you could come back to the video later if you're in the middle of work or if you're driving, for example. And I recommend that if you want to, that you can come, hopefully you can come back and, or if you have time now, to really soak up this energy and make the most of this time of clearing and receiving and giving. So let's ask this sacred smoke to wash over our bodies and carry away with it all negative energies, entities, cords, hooks, attacks and attachments, as we give ourselves permission to let go. To let go of our hold, let go of our need to be in control, to let go of our limitations, our wounds, our hurts, to perhaps even temporarily let go of our to-do list, the things we've got to do later, the things that are on our mind. If it's worry that's on our mind, maybe we could let that go. But if it's important things that we're doing later, then what I like to do is imagine I put those things in a box outside my door and I can tend and get back to those later. I don't need to think of them while I'm here in this space, connecting and allowing myself to receive, but also sharing what I feel out with others. So it is. We also call forward the great spirits, our God and Goddess, all of our spiritual guides, our loved ones in spirit, our power animals, our ancestors, all beings of the light, and any other specific beings that we work with or call upon. Let's ask them to come forward now. Let's ask that they help us stay connected to the earth, connected to the universe above, and bring those connections into that central place, I guess, that conduit of our body. We ask that we stay safe and protected and open to receiving what we need during this journey today. And so it is. Okay, let's make sure this stick is out. Hello, hi, and from Moona, welcome. Nita has lit a candle and a smudge stick too. Excellent. And it's 7:30 in Ohio. Yes, let's do a time check here. I haven't done that yet. Okay, that is out. So it is Thursday, the 6th of the 6th here, and the time is 9:36 a.m. Okay, so we've done our smudging. We can put this card back. And now we move into our time of receiving. This is our time for us. This is time to give and let ourselves give to us and let ourselves receive. So let's drop in as deeply as we can with this. I'm going to play the new Raven drum, so I'll explain a bit about that in a minute. But first of all, I forgot to say what I'm using. I'm using my Healing Energy cards. That's deck 1, and I've also got my newest deck 2 that came out last year. combined here. So I've got 110 cards in my combined healing energy cards deck. This is the deck I go to for healing and for support. So when I'm doing events like this, when I'm connecting with people for healing sessions, for example, I'll use these. And you may have seen them around the Facebook page. But these are the first deck's my oldest deck of cards that I released in 2008. And they're also my most popular. So I'm looking for the best card that the majority of us need as we move into our time of receiving. Can you let yourself receive? Can you give to yourself? Can you allow yourself this time without feeling guilty? Okay, the best healing energy card is this one from deck 2. And it's this. It's card 100. And funny because it says release the guilt. It's in the depth category here. And down here it says make a wrong right. Drop your burdens. Let the hurt go. Correct a mistake that you've made. Apologize, take responsibility, own it, and move forward. So this is suggesting, again, this restrictive energy, but instead of the restrictive energy that the other card had, which felt more like a box around us that we're trying to grow, but the box is kind of stopping us, like a fence or a boundary or a limitation of some sort. This is like we're trying to fly to a new height. Like, let's imagine that we're a pelican and we're wanting to go to a new height, and this pelican, and even though we might have all intentions to go to this new height, let's fly as high as we can, this pelican may be, let's imagine that it's got 4 or 6 sandbags hanging off it. And these sandbags weigh this bird down. They weigh us down. So we might be trying to fly. We might be trying to improve our life. We might be trying to get better. We might be trying to try new things and change for the best. But we're burdened, or we're trying to fly while we're carrying this heavy weight. And there's only so much height that we can achieve when we're carrying all this dead weight. And this dead weight may be things like our limitations and our restrictions. It could be our guilt. It could be our hurt and wounds from the past. It may even be things like our self-criticism or self-doubt, or our lack of self-acceptance, the attack that we put perhaps or project onto ourselves. So what are you carrying that feels heavy and that feels like it's a burden and feels like it's weighing you down? Now, this would be, and what I can see actually visually in my mind's eye is this pair of scissors and us cutting the strings to these sandbags and to these this heavy energy that we may feel that we're carrying. This doesn't mean that we are wiping our hands of something that we need to fix, or that we need to apologise for, or that we perhaps need to take responsibility for. So, for example, just one to throw out there, obviously we're responsible for our children. If we've got children up to a certain age, we're responsible for them while we're teaching and guiding them and hopefully supporting their growth. We can't disown them. Unless there's extreme situations, I guess. But we can't disown or cut ties with our responsibilities, which is to the responsibility of raising children, just in general. Of course, there are perhaps some exceptions to that in certain situations, but in general, that's a responsibility we bear, and we can't cut ties with it. So what responsibilities are you bearing that have perhaps become heavy and burdensome? Is there a way that you can accept those responsibilities and do what needs to be done to sort of see that time period through, if it's a time period and something that you've committed to, something that you're obligated to? And there's a difference between those responsibilities that are ours to bear and the other burdens or heaviness, the sandbaggy weight that we may carry that are not our responsibilities or that are not for us to carry. Things like perhaps things like our self-doubt, our self-criticism, our lack of self-acceptance, these kinds of heavy energies that may pull us down and that we can cut ties to. So there's a figuring out, what are we responsible for and what are we not responsible for, and do we want to keep carrying that burden that's actually stopping us from flying where we could fly to. Now, speaking of flying, I am about to play the Raven drum. This is new and it's so cool. I love all the details in this guy. I haven't actually played it at all yet, so I'm very excited to play this. The Raven is messenger from Spirit, and it also represents our shadow and the dark parts within us that we can ignore and avoid if we want, but it's going to get louder. The more we ignore something, the louder it becomes. Or we could find the courage to face our fear, to face those dark parts within us, the parts that perhaps aren't perfect, and we see them for what they are, and we either bear that responsibility. If that's a responsibility we need to bear, we might need to think about making a wrong right, apologising for something we did that was hurtful perhaps, that we're carrying with us, owning that and doing the right thing. We may be encouraged to find the courage to drop our self-limitations and our self-burdens about who we are, and the self-criticism, the attacks that we perhaps put onto ourselves with our thoughts, with our words, and perhaps the way we treat ourselves. So this is our time to receive. This is our time to really soak this up for us. And hopefully you enjoy. So I'm going to play the drum. There's nothing you can do wrong. Just listen and let the sound of the drum support you and hold you and comfort you. And perhaps consider what you need to release. What are you carrying that's heavy that you can drop so that you can lighten your load. So nice big breath. Beautiful. So hopefully you could feel something, whatever you needed, but also hopefully you could feel the support and the love coming in for you that you are letting yourself receive. It's tricky, isn't it, to allow ourselves to receive, let's say, love or energy or support if we're feeling loathing about ourselves. Because what if the support and the love and the energy that we desperately need is there? What if there are people trying to help us? What if there are people that love us, but we loathe ourselves so much that we're actually keeping a wall up and not letting that energy that we desperately want come in? So I could feel with the drum this sense of almost like our walls coming down. And for those of us, perhaps you, who have been in quite the negative pattern, perhaps of self-loathing, maybe it was quite an emotional release of walls coming down. And as we let our walls come down, as we stop trying to control everything to be the way it has to be for us in our safe little world that's actually quite potentially limiting, we block out all these potential people and good things that are there. They're right there on the other side of that wall. So have your walls become too high? And I liken this to like boundaries. You know, boundaries, having healthy and supportive boundaries are really super important. But if they become unhealthy, or we hide behind these boundaries because we might be feeling self-conscious about this situation, so we're just going to say, no, I don't have the money for that, or I don't have the time for that, so I'm not going to try this. And then the boundaries get higher and thicker and more dense and harder to see through, and they end up becoming like castle walls. And when we're behind castle walls, which usually start as unhealthy boundaries, and even we could say boundaries that we may put up around ourselves as a young person or even as an older person, but to protect ourselves from being hurt again. So as a way to survive, we put boundaries up, we put walls up to just try and get through. And there's time and a place for that. But then once that situation's passed, we tend to keep them up. And then we build them and we make them stronger and we barricade ourselves behind these walls. And when these walls are like castle walls, we get very defensive. So being defensive is a sure sign that we're hiding behind some walls, and we're probably feeling really insecure. Even though we want security and we want love and we want support, we want someone to be there in our corner, we're actually, without realizing it, we've got a wall up. And so we're not really letting people in. We're not letting people, we can get very defensive and almost paranoid that someone might say something fairly innocently and we take it the wrong way because we're in defensive mode. We might also feel that we have to defend our actions and defend why, have perhaps a big long list of excuses as to why we're not going to do this. Do we have to have a big long list of excuses, or do we just not want to do it? We don't need to make lots of excuses. So there are all these types of signs that we will hide behind these walls. And basically I feel with the drum that we've been encouraged to really consider what walls we do have up and where we're blocking energy from coming in. Are these walls working for us? Do they still need to be there? And maybe we can, as we move forward from here over the next couple of days, if this is something that really speaks to you, you may want to make some time to break your walls down. And it can be really unsettling and confronting, because perhaps for some people it might be their whole life. Maybe these walls were put up when they were a child to survive a really horrible situation, and then they stay there. So then we become very paranoid or cautious around other people, just in case they're going to hurt us, like what happened when we were younger. But we're an older person now. We're not in that same situation. So sometimes we need to reassure ourselves that we are safe, that we are supported, and that it's safe for us to break down our walls. And it might be something we do in increments, little bit at a time. But as we break our wall down, we open ourselves up to receiving what we actually want, instead of wanting something that we're then actually pushing away at the same time, which is this push-pull energy, which is never comfortable, because we desperately want love, or whatever it is. We desperately want love. We want someone to love us, but we have these walls up that are stopping love from coming in. So it's crazy sometimes when we stop and think about it, that what we're actually desperately wanting, we're actually pushing away at the same time. So if that's you, then it really might be worth making some time over these next few days to break down your walls. How would you do that? How I do it, typically, is I imagine I've got a big sledgehammer, and I imagine these big castle walls around me, and I just go at it, and I break these walls down in my mind. And I physically, like in my mind, I'm physically breaking the walls down. And it might feel scary at first, like, oh my gosh, I'm exposed, I'm naked here, I'm going to be taken advantage of, I'm going to be hurt again. There is going to probably be that initial panic. But then we reassure ourselves this is a different time, a different place, we are a different person, and we're not in this same situation like we were before when the walls started. So let's find the courage to break down our walls so we can let in what we want and what we so desperately want, that support and that love, that abundance. So thank you so much. That has been our time of receiving. If you have the Healing Energy Cards deck too, you may also find it helpful to go straight to card 100, Release the Guilt, and keep this card close by for a couple of days if this stuff that I'm talking about really speaks to you. So thank you very much. Now, before we go into our time of giving, I want to thank you for joining me, especially if you're going soon. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love if you're watching on Facebook. Please comment, please share if you're inspired to, and if you'd prefer to connect more privately, you can either email us or send us a private message. And if you want to learn more about my Healing Energy Cards, you can work with them separately or join them together like this. You can learn more at templeofbalance.com.au, and if you'd like to support my work, you can also visit that same website. So it's now our time of giving. So giving, now hopefully we're feeling quite nice in our body, quite grounded, quite connected, quite open, even though there might be more work to do for some of us, but hopefully we're feeling quite open. So this is a time now where we want to share this energy that we're feeling out with others. So there's going to be an opportunity to imagine or put others in our healing circle in a minute, and I'm going to guide us through our time of giving. So before we do that, let's grab the best healing energy card for now, and that best card is this as we move into our time of giving. We've got Charging, card 51. This is in the rest category, and down here it says stop to refuel and recharge yourself. Energetic boost, replenishment, power surge, electric energy. Make the time that's required and restoring our energy level. So this is feeling charged up and using or sharing or being open to sharing this charged up energy out with other people. That it's not all about us, which can become the way of things I see at the moment so much. Things are becoming very self-focused, very self-centered. And we're so lucky in some ways that we're able to do that in this day and age. But I'm seeing it tip into really unhealthy. So I feel like what we give to ourselves, what we let ourselves receive, needs to be equally balanced with what we are offering and giving to others as we share. It's like our in and our out breath. Both are as important as the other. Giving and receiving, breathing in, breathing out. It's the same sort of thing. So I'm going to be playing the singing bowl here. My quartz singing bowl, which sounds like this. And I'm going to be guiding this part of our healing journey. So please follow what I'm saying if it speaks to you. but I really encourage you to trust your intuition above you trusting mine. My job is to trust my intuition. Your job is to trust your intuition. And then when we do that, then we come together, we work together like a dance or a union. So if you are resonating with what I'm saying and you would like to follow what I'm guiding and speaking in this segment, then please do. But if you're off on your own thing, don't feel that that's wrong. Trust your intuition with what you need to do. So I'm going to play this singing bowl and I'm going to guide us through our time of giving and sharing this energy out to others. So I trust you enjoy. So take a nice big breath and feel your feet on the floor. Now, if you're not sitting with your feet on the floor, if you're laying in bed or if you're sitting down on a chair, feel the weight of your body on the chair or the bed or wherever you are. And if you have your soles of your feet on the ground, then bring your attention to the soles of your feet. Bring your attention to the weight of your body and that's been supported and held by the earth and by the ground. It doesn't matter if you're 20 stories in the air or if you're right down on the earth right now, right down in the dirt and in the grass and on the rocks, in the sand. It doesn't matter. Just feel your connection to the earth. Feel the physicality, the weight of your body. And let's imagine drawing up into our body the energy of the earth. So feel the energy of the earth under you, pulsating like a rhythm, like a heartbeat under you. Feel its grounding, stability. Feel its love and nurturing underneath you. And on your next in-breath, draw that energy up into your body through the soles of your feet or through your tailbone or your spine or wherever the weight of your body is at this time. Draw that nice, nurturing, grounding energy up into your body. You may imagine it as a colour perhaps or an energy. You may struggle to feel it. So I suggest that you just know that it's coming into you, know that it's there. And let's imagine this earthy energy coming up into our body and going to anywhere in our body that we need it. So if we've got a pain or an ache or a tension or some issue in our body we know about or don't know about, let's trust that this earthy healing energy from the earth goes into that area and brings soothing and support and healing to those parts of our body that need it. And now with our body hopefully feeling nice and calm and connected and peaceful, let's imagine that we're all holding hands in this beautiful circle of love. So imagine yourself holding hands with the person next to you, as in some person that's connecting now or later to the replay. Imagine you're holding hands with someone on your left and your right as we come together. And we now hold this intention to share what we feel with each other. So we start sending our energy, the love and the connection that we feel. We start sharing it out through our left hand and into the person to our left. And then it goes around our circle, and at our right hand, we receive this love that's been generated through our circle here. So we're giving out through our left side, receiving in through our right side, giving and receiving in perfect balance. We cannot give more than we receive, and we cannot receive more than we give. All is perfectly balanced. And we know that we're safe and protected. So we're not going to take on other people's stuff. We are in a place of receiving and giving. Now, with this beautiful circle of energy that we have been generating, let's imagine now putting into our circle, right there in the middle, anyone that we know who is struggling or is dealing with health issues, who is grieving, who is lost, who is alone. And let's imagine them being placed into our circle. You can just think of their name or visualize them in there, depending on how your intuition works for you. Now, we're not trying to force something specific onto them. We're just bringing them here because we love them and we care. And we trust that they will receive the energy that they need for their highest truth. It's not up to us to determine that they need to improve this and they need to think that. Let's just bring them here because we love and care for them, not because we're trying to control what they do or don't do in their life. And we leave them now in our circle to stay as long as they need to. And now we bring our attention back to this energy that's flowing around from hand to hand and heart to heart. And we expand this energy up through our body now to our crown, where we now visualize this energy going around our circle from crown to crown to crown. And now we expand this energy even further past our crowns, and we wrap and envelop the earth in this beautiful blanket of love. And this love finds anyone who's lost or alone, anyone who's struggling, grieving, at war, anyone who just needs a bit of love, then this love finds them. Again, we don't force it and try and control it to be what we think this person or this area or this group needs. We just hold and visualize this space of love, knowing and trusting they will receive what they need in accordance with their highest truth. This love flows down into the waterways and areas of the earth that need it now too, and up into the air and the atmosphere, from the highest peaks to the lowest valleys and everywhere in between. So the earth is now covered in this beautiful blanket of love. And we hold it there for as long as we need to, as long as it's needed. And now we bring our focus back to our circle and back to ourselves. And here we draw this high vibrational energy down into our bodies through our crown. So our crown opens up and it brings, it's thirsty, it welcomes this high vibrational energy in. And here this energy mixes with that earthy energy we connected with before. And here we merge heaven with earth, spirit with matter. Here we bring all of who we are into our body and into this moment. Bringing those high vibrations from above in and mixing, reuniting, dancing with those more physical vibrations of the earth. And here we feel or connect with that wholeness, that our ability to connect with more than our dramas and stresses and problems of the world. Here we connect with the bigger picture. And here we stand tall and ready, connected and grounded, and ready to face the next phase, the next step, the next moment of our life. And so it is. So when you're ready, take a nice big breath. And hopefully you're feeling nice and grounded to the earth and to your body, and hopefully nice and connected to spirit in the bigger picture and more than what we see in the physical space and the physical existence of our life. So thank you so much. Feels wonderful to be creating and generating this energy with you today. So if you just joined in, I was keeping this card in mind too, charging. Hopefully you're feeling nice and charged and ready to face your day. So I'm going to pull a card to go. Before I do, I again want to thank you very, very much for joining me today. If you found this video helpful, please interact. Please share with anyone who you feel might also benefit from this. And please consider supporting my work through my website at templeofbalance.com.au. We don't take donations because that doesn't match up with our country's governmental policies. But I do encourage you, if you found something helpful from this video, go and grab yourself a deck of cards or see if there's something on my website that speaks to you, because I'm here because of your support. And we're just about to turn 20, which is pretty amazing. So please consider supporting my work, and thank you for joining me today. So I'm going to pull a healing energy card to go. I'm looking for the best card that the majority of us need as we move forward from here. So what do we need to know as we move forward from here? That means to me, in my intention with this, is when we're about to turn this off, what should we do? What should we do to help carry this nice connective energy through into our life? How can we make this last longer than just this video? How can we let it penetrate and infiltrate our life in a really positive way? So that's what I'm looking for with this card. What can we consider as we move forward and as we get back into our everyday life, as we return back to our tasks and duties and things that we have to do? The best card is this. It's from the second deck, Healing Energy Cards, deck 2. And it is, I love this card so much. It's so fun. And it comes up fairly regularly. It's card 103. And it says, the runway is clear. It's in the category of neutral. Neutral is center. It's the crossroads. It's where anything potentially is possible. So it's like a blank canvas. It's a fresh start. So we are here. The runway is clear. It says the way is clear. All that needs to be done is done. A new arrival. Everything is on track. Manifestation. Walk ahead. Celebrate. And a job well done. So there is a sense with this card that all that needs to be done is done. So let's be careful and not adding to what needs to be done when things are done. Let's not add a complication to something that's okay and good the way it is. So let's not overly complicate things. Let's not, and perhaps even change what we've been doing unless there's a good reason to do so. Let's be open to receiving, because all is ready, all is lined up, and now we're just waiting for the plane to land. We're waiting for the baby to arrive. We're waiting for the date to come. So what can we do while we wait? We can enjoy it. We can find gratitude. We can even celebrate this job well done and where we find ourselves. Something wants to manifest with this card. So manifest means something wants to take form, and we may be preparing for that. We may be well on our way to that manifestation. There may be a little bit more that needs to be done, but for now, perhaps we can just enjoy where we're at and where we find ourselves and what we have done, to find gratitude of where we find ourselves and then keep going. So it's quite exciting. The runway is clear. Our walls are coming down. We are open to receiving that we so desperately, and hopefully when the walls are down, we don't so desperately want, but we would really love to have in our life. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really trust you found this helpful and supportive and hopefully energizing and healing for you. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll be back again tomorrow for some guidance, some cards that I'll be pulling. So I might see you then. But if not, take care of yourself, and I'll hopefully see you next time. Take care. Bye for now.